Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for March the 15th, 2021. Today I'd like to talk about how the SNP are utterly feckless. As an Englishman, I'm allowed to do this, but also because they have become my new lolcow on this channel. And as far as content goes, I'm going to keep reporting on them when they keep on screwing up, because it's actually more interesting than what is going on in the rest of the UK. It's surprisingly dull everywhere else. Still ongoing is the Holyrood inquiry into whether or not Nicola Sturgeon breached ministerial code. Alex Salmond has provided a plethora of evidence and claims he also believes quite a few members of the Scottish Nationalist Party need to resign. He's not said the same of Nicola Sturgeon though, because that part will only come if she's found guilty. We are, of course, still waiting for the report, but as they've yet to finish their investigation, we only have what is made publicly available to go on, and none of it makes her look very good. The committee requested information that pertained to meetings between lawyers and Nicola Sturgeon about Alex Salmond. This request was sent to the SNP Deputy Leader John Swinney and yielded a somewhat interesting result. Records between Nicola Sturgeon and lawyers over Alex Salmond simply don't exist. One claim is that the records can't be found. At the time he said that, he was hardly in a good position already, because the delays on giving the legal advice the SNP were given with regards to the harassment claims against Alex Salmond, which cost them hundreds of thousands of Scottish taxpayers' money, was being withheld for months, and it was only when his job was dangled in front of his face that John Swinney provided the information a little too late, because they'd already called for a vote of no confidence, that being the Scottish Tories and Scottish Labour, who decided in this moment to actually work together for once, which was quite interesting. We'll get to that soon. Just for the sake of lols, I'm now going to quote what John Swinney said. The government have not identified any record of minutes that have been prepared or previously held. Officials have identified a small number of contemporaneous email exchanges referencing these meetings. These include exchanges following the meeting on the 2nd of November and emails ahead of the meeting on the 13th of November 2018, attended by Nicola Sturgeon and Leslie Evans. These exchanges make clear that the focus of the meetings was on discussing and agreeing with external counsel adjustments to the pleadings for the judicial review. There is, however, a small problem with this. John Swinney, without the minutes, all you've done is assert it. The minutes are the only thing you could have provided that would have confirmed it. There is nothing else that can, therefore what you've just said is a load of bollocks, mate. John Swinney also confirmed that there were extensive engagements between council and the Scottish Government. Yet, with all these meetings, there were no formally written notes, something which even the Scottish Tories called bullshit on, as everyone keeps notes. If you go to meetings, especially on such a professional level, minutes are always taken. Consider it like governmental Hansard. So because of all this mounting nonsense, on the 11th of March, John Swinney was subject to a vote of no confidence, and only survived, by the way, this is his second vote of no confidence in 7 months, he only survived because the SNP were saved by the Greens, who had struck a deal with the SNP to save John Swinney. It's nice to see that even when someone is fundamentally in the wrong, you'll work together to keep them in power, because that's more important than simply doing the right thing. He's cocked this up on many levels, as has his boss. So yes, he gets to keep his job for the time being. There is an election coming up. Who knows what might happen? Oh, and for the sake of it, It speaks volumes about the SNP if Labour and Conservatives can work together.
But the SNP government have form. They withheld documents from the judicial review, resulting in the professional embarrassment of their own senior counsel. They've withheld documents despite a search warrant in the criminal case against Alex Salmond, which is in itself a crime. And they have withheld documents from the committee. There is a pattern of behaviour here, Presiding Officer, and it is one of obstruction, secrecy and contempt for the institution of this Parliament. Presiding Officer, the motion of no confidence may be in John Swinney, but I am clear that it is in the behaviour of the secretive National Party that is truly outrageous.
The final thing I'd like to cover with this week, or last week, is the fact that in Scotland, a series of polls were conducted by an outlet called The Scotsman. This was conducted between March the 5th and March the 10th. Over 1,000 Scottish adults aged 16 and over were questioned. For the first time in quite some time, a poll now exists in Scotland that shows the SNP no longer being able to maintain a Holyrood majority. Granted, it's a poll with a very small number. Chances are people will blindly vote SNP because we don't like the UK and Labour and Tories are UK. But in reality, all that does is make you push further and further into an undemocratically bollocksed parliament. But you do you, Scotland. The poll is quite fascinating. I'm going to link it down below. Essentially, it reduces the majority from 46.5% to 41.7%. But that's still a significant drop. With all of this, I'd like to know what you think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, please consider smashing the like, as it helps drive engagement up on this channel. Have a lovely day, everyone, and thank you very much for listening.